Carlos, what are your feelings around the public display of legislative bills prior to vote?
I prefer PDAs as opposed to PDLBP TVs.
Okay.
So I want to hear what our wonderful guest has to say about it.
Well, we have Eric Garcia. He's the HistoriCorps resident representative for the Downtown Los Angeles Neighborhood Council. My off time, I call him councilman, or neighborhood councilman. He was first elected to the seat in 2014 and is now serving his second term. He's also an engineering lawyer, pet owner, recent father, husband, and believe it or not, native Angelino.
What do you call him in your on time?
Eric.
Late for dinner? Good to have you, Eric.
Great being on. Thanks, guys.
So Proposition 54, the public display of legislative bills prior to vote. This requires bills to be published and available to the public at least 72 hours before legislators can vote on them.
I call this the transparency proposition. All government should be available to be transparent to the public. People should be able to record sessions, be able to publicize that. Bills should be available for public comment. Here it's 72 hours notice period, and I think that's maybe a little high, but I think the idea behind it being that deals aren't made in back rooms without public comment or public review, and the ability for the public to see a bill in its final form and be able to provide comment, I think is an important step that needs to happen.
I only had one question about it as a whole, and that's the fiscal impact. As someone who deals a little bit with video and all that that entails. Somebody's going to get $1 to $2 million a year to film stuff. I'll do it.
No,
because it's a lot of money.
Yeah, no, I read the cost analysis. It says, just so the audience knows, it's the estimated costs are one-time costs of $1 million to $2 million to enact this proposition, and then ongoing would be about $1 million a year to record meetings and make videos.
Listen, the four of us in this room, we'll do $200,000 a year salary, and then we'll spend $200,000 on cameras and hard drives.
This is the California legislature.
We make movies here.
Show me your production budget.
It's I laugh when I see things like that. Like, it's going to cost us X amount to make this, and you're just like, I have a friend I could do that for
free students.
You just press record.
Yeah. I don't get where that comes from, but I'll tell you what. At least they're not under. They're being very, very conservative with their estimates. So true. You can't fault them for giving everyone full disclosure.
The notable supporters includes the League of Women Voters and the NAACP, and the best argument I heard in favor is that it stops what's called the gut and amend maneuver. The problem is right now is that a legislator could write a bill about one subject like dog food safety, and then at the last minute empty all the contents out and replace it with something else entirely, so Dog Food Safety Act can become something about like bingo games.
The arguments against this seem to be based on is the fact that it's backed by Charles Munger Jr., who apparently is rich and self-funding the Yes on Proposition 54 campaign, essentially, and has been known to be somewhat controversial.
He's Yes on 54?
Yes. This is actually his proposition. He actually presented this to the state legislature and was remarking about it, what its intended effect was, and I saw that video and whatnot. So the opposition just keys in on the fact that this person it's a billionaire, and the argument's like, don't let billionaires decide how laws are made.
Yeah.
Boom, boom, boom. But at the end of the day, when you read it, it's not controversial in my mind. It's very clear cut. But I am disappointed to see the groups that oppose it include the California Democratic Party, which I'm just, what the heck is going on there? And
I have a theory about that one.
That they have the majority of the seats up there and they want to be told how to do their jobs? Or what is your theory?
No, that was it.
You nailed it. I think you nailed it.
They talk about Prop 54 causing unnecessary delays. And again, that's because supposedly you have to have the 72-hour review period. But, I think those are things you could work out, work on. I mean, they're saying, if you had a comma, then you have to wait 3 days. And it's, okay, fine. Maybe that's an unintended consequence of this proposition, but I think they can work those things out with clarification and guidelines. And then one thing they say is that, Prop 54 will increase political attack ads. And I was a little bit set aside. Like, what does that mean? How does Prop 54, increase political attack ads? And I realized what they're referring to is people, anyone could record as well these sessions. And I guess they're referring to people using the footage, right, and then putting attack ads together. And I'm like, look, that should be public anyhow. And if things are happening in the legislature that people should know about, then yes, by all means, please air those and put those in ads. We all should know what they're doing up there in Sacramento. So I think that's a false argument. And then as I hinted before, the thing they really pounce on is don't let a billionaire rewrite California's constitution for political gain. And again, there's really nothing, that in the language of this proposition that makes me feel awkward.
Councilman Eric Garcia, how do you vote on Proposition 54?
A big O yes.
Carlos?
Can you give me a title?
Creative kingmaker of Silver Lake, Carlos Foglia. How do you vote on 54?
Yes.
And I, myself, content creation.
What?
I don't know. I don't know. It's a Sunday. I'm
Awesome
not,
Dan.
Awesome Dan. Yes on 54.